Do you have someone who is your nemesis, the person who is the main character in your book, and you're trying to figure out how do I write this book and not let them know I'm writing it, or kind of come to a resolve and not feel bad about the story that I'm getting ready to write? Well, I just wanted to offer you some, not necessarily tips, but solutions on how to get around that and maybe not feel as bad. One thing that we tend to do is have a lot of fear surrounding our nemesis, the person who's caused us some pain. And so, when you have this fear, you are scared of the person still. You haven't resolved the issue with the person. So there's this fear associated with it. So to actually write an entire book or to include a chapter about this person is just really difficult. They've already made your life difficult as it is. And so you are trying to get your words down on paper and then just share your experience so that I can help someone. And sometimes there's fear. So the way that I kind of deal with this situation is I change the name of the character. I've said this in other videos, but also I have developed this feeling of not even worrying about how they feel because this is my story. And it's not that you are not a good person. It's not that you aren't kind or compassionate or that you have love in your heart, but you cannot worry about that person's feelings when you're sharing your story. So just remove the fear. And it's easy for somebody to say, oh, stop crying, don't cry, or whatever, or don't worry, or don't be scared. Your feelings are what they are. But I tend to act like the person doesn't even exist anymore. And this helps me not only get the story down, and then when I change the name, it's just like the story could be about anyone, but I am sharing my story. So if you want to protect yourself and you're still scared, this is a way to do it. But I always act like the person doesn't even exist, like they've actually died. And then this helps me really get the story out. Now, if your nemesis is still alive, and a lot of times they are, and that's where the fear comes in, and you want to share the story. It's just like the narcissist, they're still around, but we want to be able to tell this story, and it may be healing for someone. And so, all these things go hand in hand. The person's still here. How do I tell the story? I want to respect people. It's just like you haven't gotten your respect, but you want to respect the person. And this is understandable. We're human and we do want to respect people. Sometimes it's a parent, it's a family member that has, abused or, mistreated you in some kind of way. And so, out of respect for them, you want to save their name. You don't want people to think bad of them or, have negative thoughts because they've lived this life that's unblemished or people think highly of them. And so you're concerned about that. And that just shows that you're human. And again, this goes back to changing the name of the person. And you could make your story a fictional story, but you don't have to. Your truth is your truth. And it's kind of like you got to develop a thick skin, for telling the truth, standing there in it, and thinking also that this might sever my relationship with the person. And I have built up something to where I'm okay if I need to sever this relationship in order to get my story out. Because The truth is the truth. And if you don't get your truth out, you can't grow, you can't heal, you can't move forward until you get that out. And then there's so much more opportunity for you to even help that person who has been causing you all of this pain. So just try to develop a thick skin and try to remove the fear. And I'm not going to say that it's going to be the easiest thing to do. I've just done this over time because I know that it was best for me. But everybody has their own journey and their own time period of getting over what they need to get over and addressing the issues that they need to address. So, just because you want to respect someone's privacy doesn't mean that you cannot tell the story. You can still tell the story. You could resolve the issues with your nemesis by actually going to them and saying, "Hey, I'm getting ready to write this book and I want to resolve what we've had going for so long. And I want to heal. And I hope that we can come to some kind of an agreement to basically help both of us. It can be a healing process for both of us. And that's a way to get started with the conversation. Before you even start the book, you have a goal in mind that you're going to write what happened, but you're also going to be working on the relationship. It's going to take initiative from you to actually go to this person who you've been on the outs with for the longest, right? And so this is just a way. And it's not necessarily the best way because sometimes, your nemesis is just a person that you could not even approach. You're not in the emotional state to do it. It's not a good place for you to be. So don't do it if it's not safe for you, but that is one way to do it. So I hope that these tips helped you. And, you don't have to make friends, you don't have to make up, you don't have to use someone's real name to get your story out. There's all different types of ways that you can write your story. You can tell your truth. You can be true to yourself without actually feeling all that fear and getting all the negative feedback and just feeling a kind of way. There are solutions, and I hope that these helped you. Take care.